Hey, this is Catherine, and this is another illustration that I made in Procreate. I wanted to do one of dogs in an ice cream truck. I don't know, the idea just came to me. I thought it would be really cute, and I wanted to do this one using pastel colors for the most part. So I went on to Pinterest, and I also went on Google and just searched different types of ice cream trucks. There were so many that came up, and it's a really simple illustration to do. It's basically a box, but there's a lot of different types of ice cream trucks, and I wanted this one to be a little more retro looking, just kind of small and cute. I didn't want to add the awning, though. I thought that would be a little distracting, but there are some that have awnings where like a top layer flaps up like a window opens up kind of thing. I really didn't want to incorporate that on this because I was planning on writing the name of the business on the top, and I thought that would kind of get in the way, but that's another element you can add to this, which is common. So if you search ice cream trucks online, you will see all different kinds, and it's a really simple drawing, and then you can just add whatever cute elements that you want to add. Now, drawing animals is really easier than you think if you don't worry about making them super furry or fluffy. I really don't like to do that. I just kind of keep the shapes really simple, and you can use whatever colors you want, basically, unless you're doing a particular breed. And here I have Dalmatians, so I wanted them all to be Dalmatians in the truck, so obviously that's black and white. And then I did add a golden retriever. Cats, I'm a little more loose with the coloring for some reason, but really with animals you can kind of make your own breed and do what you want. But I feel that when it comes to dogs, people do associate dog breeds and can recognize them probably a little more easily than a cat. So I think for me, dogs, it's important to make the breed more recognizable, whether you do a pug or a Labrador or something. I think making up your own dog breed might be like not as believable. So with dogs, I would stick more to the breed. With cats, I think you can have a little more fun with the colors and stripes or polka dots or things like that. I also put a sweater on my one cat. You can see the final illustration in the bottom left, and I wanted to put that in there so you can see what it's going to look like in the end while you're watching me make it in the Procreate app. And what I did is I drew the sketch out in Procreate using one of the Procreate pencils, and just kind of finalized that and made it look the way I wanted to. And I put that at the top layer. I always do that and minimize the opacity, and then I create everything underneath. Now the very bottom layer is going to be the main background or the sky, so I chose a light blue, and anything I want to cover that will go above that layer. And I do change the sky color, as you can see in the final drawing at the bottom. It is more of a purpley periwinkle blue because I wanted it to blend in more with the purples of the truck. So I kind of gave it a little more of a purple look to it. I also add a sun in this, and then I ended up taking it out because I just thought the yellow was way too distracting from my color palette. I couldn't get the color yellow right. I did do like a pastel yellow, but I just felt it was too light. You couldn't really see it very well. So I decided I'm just going to take it out of the picture completely. Cute little details I think are really important to pay attention to when you do an illustration, and I did want to add some signs on the truck like open, and you'll see I have a few more that I'm going to add here. I also added some patterns to the truck. I have like a little zigzag pattern which I really love, and I think it's really good when you're in Procreate to create a folder of your favorite brushes, your favorite patterns, things like that you can get to easily, because I have a lot of different packs in Procreate, and I can sometimes search and have a difficulty finding the ones I really like. So I put everything in folders of ones that I really like and use often, and that makes it a lot easier for me. I'm adding some shadows here on those tire covers I think it's important to have some kind of shadows in your objects, just to give a little bit of depth to things, a little bit of a perspective, I think is really important. And I really couldn't decide where to put this truck, so I just decided I'm gonna put it like they're in a parking lot at, they parked at a park. And I called it the Bark Park, not very original, but they're kind of parking it there for people to come up to, because if I didn't have it parked somewhere, it would look like they were driving somewhere, and I don't want that to be the case because they're not really paying attention to driving, and I wanted them to be stopped with customers. So I decided, okay, I want them at a park, and I'll put them in a parking lot with a sign so it's a little, it's clear where they're at and what's going on. Sometimes I do put a pattern over my background sky, make it really light. I think that's just kind of a cute way to do it. I really like adding patterns in Procreate. I just think it's a lot of fun. It gives a new dimension. And like I said before, my favorite mode is the soft mode, the soft light mode. And I like the soft light mode when you click that on in Procreate. There's a lot of different modes you can use, but I like the soft light mode because it takes the color you're using and kind of creates a shadow behind it, and a little brighter or just a little different variation of that color instead of doing just a flat dark shadow. And I also like it with patterns because it works with the color above it or beneath it. So check that one out, the soft light blending mode, that you have those options. That's my personal favorite that I've worked with, and I think it's really nice to use that. So here I'm making like a big bullhorn or whatever that's going to play the music. I probably should have added some little musical notes coming out of that, and maybe I will do that because ice cream trucks always play music, and this is kind of a Dr. Seuss looking thing. I wanted it to be kind of whimsical and cute, and balance out those big huge ice creams on top of the truck, which are obviously like sculptures that the truck has. So I thought I need to have something at the end here to kind of balance this out. I don't know, maybe it's too big now that I'm looking at it. Maybe I shouldn't have it at all or make it smaller. I can go back and revisit it because everything's on its own different layer, so I can change the size or color of anything. As you can see, I have that sun in the background. I like it. I like the way the cloud looks in front of it, but at the end I took it out and decided it was better without it. It was just a little less distracting because I really want the eye to go to the truck and the dogs. And here I wrote "Cats are welcome," which I thought was really funny because, why not? Cats are welcome. Cats and dogs can get along. And then we have a summer special, the vanilla cone, which is, of course, the best type of ice cream to get a dog. No chocolate. I probably should have had a sign on there, no chocolate flavor, because dogs are allergic to chocolate, or it's poisonous to them and not good for cats either. So that would be another idea to put on that, like no chocolate flavors or vanilla only, because that's really the safest ice cream to give your dogs is the vanilla. But anyway, here I'm doing a little sign here where they're parking. I'm not sure how I feel about the the green bushes in the background. I kind of like them, and I wanted just to give, like they're at a park, an idea, and have some kind of landscaping going on here. I'm not sure how I feel about the flower pattern though. I might go in and change that to something a little less busy, because there's a lot of patterns going on here. I like them, but you do have to edit yourself. You have to go in and revisit an illustration and try different things and say, okay, maybe this is a little too busy here. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And you can just go in, take it out, add a different one, try different things. So now I'm working on my golden retriever, and I had fun with this. I was trying to decide what to do with her. I like golden retrievers. They're great dogs. And I made the cone colors to match the truck a little bit, kind of keep the same color palette there. And then I decided I was going to add a scarf to her, like a bandana, I should say. And I think that's really cute because they do put bandanas on dogs, like golden retrievers and other dogs when they come out of the groomer. So, she's a very fancy dog with her little bow. I just want to give her a little personality. Those are the kind of things you can do with animal illustrations, is add a bow, add a bandana, glasses, those kinds of things to add a little extra personality to the animals and make them stand out from the other animals, which I think is a really cute idea. So now I'm doing a blue cat. Obviously there's no blue cats, but with cats I have a little more freedom with the coloring. So I did this one. This cat is also a customer who is holding up a popsicle, and I'm going to put glasses on this cat. So what I do is I draw the basic shape in the darker color, in the lighter color, and then I go in with an even lighter color to do the arms, sometimes to have it just stand out, and then I might go in with a darker version of the same color, outline it, add some elements to that. That's what I did here. Instead of outlining everything in black, which was what I do sometimes, I outlined each individual element as a darker version of that color, but you could go over everything and outline everything in black too. And that's something I do often. So now I'm adding a tree here, and I do end up taking out the tree. I'm not trying to spoil it for you, but you'll see at the end I do take it out. I like the tree, but I think it's just too much going on looking at it. And as you can see in the bottom left, the tree is gone, the sun is gone, and I think it's a cleaner look. And as I've said before in my previous video, you want to limit your color palette as much as possible. So this is a cool color palette. It's like blues and greens. There is pink, which is a warmer tone, but it's it's not like, I didn't want to add the orange or a yellow. I thought it really kind of made it a little off balance. And then another thing I did here is the things that go over the tires and the back, the bumper, those I used the noise feature to make them look glittery, and that's a fun thing to do. So I do that sometimes. I thought, why not? So I did the noise feature, and I can't really explain here how to use it, but if you know Procreate, you know what I'm talking about. And it kind of makes everything look like glitter. So I thought that might be fun to add some texture to the illustration. I do like patterns. I like texture. You can see I changed the background of the sky pattern there to a zigzag. I just love adding those kinds of things. I think it makes it more interesting. As you can see now, coming to the end here, I took out the tree. I changed the background color green to a darker green, which I think works. And that's the final product. Tell me what you guys think in the comments about how this turned out, if I should add anything, change anything. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video, and have fun using Procreate.